Okay, so today I want to go ahead and talk about why the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 is undefeated. Now, some of you are going to agree and some of you are going to disagree with that statement. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, first things first, I'm being very specific here. I'm talking about the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, not the S7 Plus, not the S7 FE, the good old Galaxy Tab S7. Yes, the one that doesn't have the OLED display. Now, in terms of design, this tablet still stands as my all-time favorite design out of, all Pro tablets that I've used so far. And that even includes the 11 and also the 12.9 inches iPad Pros. Very dense and solid build, that light feel to it. The sharp edges that you see around here. Overall, it has that very bold look, and I absolutely love that. I think it's a very dope looking tablet. Now, again, it's subjective, of course, and I fully understand that. So just something that I like doesn't mean, someone else or the next person is going to like that. But anyway, so in terms of just the size of the tablet, I think it's perfect. At 11 inches, that's what people, don't think is too large or it's too small. It's just like right that perfect medium, right? So whether you're a student, whether you're just somebody, small business owner, somebody who's just buying it for fun, it's just the perfect one. I have the 12.4 inches Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. That one, I really love that tablet also, but that thing could get a little bulky, right? It could get in the way. It's pretty large. Now let's talk about the display here. It's a beautiful display, right? It's going to be labeled as a TFT, but that's just, and I've talked about this, that's just for legal reasons. Essentially, it is an actual IPS display. When Samsung makes a TFT display for, let's call it a TFT display for a flagship tablet, oh, they make sure it's top notch, right? So it's a TFT display, but picture quality is so sharp, right? Resolution here, I believe it was what, 2560 by 1600, 120 hertz. Refresh rate, so high refresh rate. Everything here is so super smooth. Like I said, image quality, very sharp, and just the color, it's not an OLED display, but you will still notice that the blacks are very black and the reds are very red. Obviously, if you take it and you compare it to the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, you'll be able to see that on the OLED display is even darker. And when I was comparing that to my Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is also a TFT, there was a massive difference. You could definitely see that the one on the Galaxy Tab S7 is so very well worked, right? So you have to be careful just trying to put all of it in one bag. The TFT display found on the Galaxy Tab S7 is fantastic. Great for entertainment, just playing games, watching movies. It is a top-notch display. You're looking at 11 inches. The resolution, that resolution I just highlighted, 1600 or 2560 by 1600, that makes it roughly 274 ppi. So that is pretty dense, and you have 500 nits. Then of course it has one of my favorite qualities on tablets, on devices in general, which is a physical fingerprint sensor. I was actually sad to see that on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus they had an optical as opposed to a physical fingerprint sensor that they have on the regular Galaxy Tab S7, which is faster and more secure. So I love that thing, of course. And you have quad speaker setup, tuned by AKG, top notch sound quality. Right up there, super crisp, full at the same time, and it can get loud. And that sound quality combined with just the picture quality, it really gets you into the game, immersed. Let's say if you're playing a game, you feel like you're in it. You're watching a movie, you really get into whatever you're doing on that tablet. I absolutely love it. Now, before we continue here, if this is your first time visiting the channel, well, welcome to the channel, of course. I'm certainly hoping that you're liking the content so far, which, if you are, I truly appreciate it. Please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. But anyway, so I want to talk about the user experience as a whole, right? Just talking user experience based off of the specs, a lot of the things that I've mentioned there, and let's talk even price first, right? So if you were able to grab this tablet at one of the discounted prices, then you get even more value. Now, when it dropped at $650, it was already offering a ton of value because it was the best Android tablet out there. Talking overall user experience, it is a fantastic tablet to use for productivity. It's loaded, of course, with a Snapdragon 865 Plus, and then it is coupled with 6 gigs of RAM, which for the average person is actually more than they need. But anyway, so 6 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 865 plus here. It takes your productivity to just another level, you know, high refresh rate. As I said, these are all flagship specs loaded in this tablet here that really enhance your user experience. So overall user experience, top notch. You have the ability to, you know, if, let's say you were to pick up just the basic 128 gigs of internal storage. So if you were to pick that up, no problem. Just buy a micro SD card and you'll be able to expand that internal storage up to 1 terabyte. That is just major when it comes down to people who are going after tablets for the value, right? So I do have the Xiaomi Mi Pad here, which is a fantastic tablet, but they don't have the option for you to expand the internal storage, just like it is the case with the iPad, right? So if you want to go ahead and go to the next level or to the next tier, whether Xiaomi or iPad, you need to just buy the next tier, which is a lot more expensive. You can see that it has great value. Now let's go ahead and talk about just productivity, right? Samsung is known for Samsung DeX. Well, it's known for many things, but Samsung DeX is one of, when it comes down to just mobile productivity, Samsung DeX is like ahead of so many manufacturers, including Apple, right? None of the other manufacturers have the option to elevate your productivity game the way, you know, Samsung DeX would allow you to. It takes productivity to another level. Now, I'm not going to go into too many details with Samsung DeX because I made a number of videos on that. In case you don't know what it is, essentially, it is a way the GUI changes, you know, the user interface on your tablet changes to mimic the interface that you would have on the desktop. So essentially, it turns your laptop, your tablet into a desktop in terms of look. Samsung has had time to really polish this over the years, right? You know, I remember the first version of it wasn't that great, but they made it better and better and better, and no one is able to keep up. So if you were to, like I always say, if you were to buy an iPad Pro, which in terms of just raw power, that horsepower, iPad Pros are loaded, right? So in terms of raw power, they are ahead of the Galaxy Tab S7 in terms of raw power. The problem is just that iPad OS limits, you know, what you can do with all that power. So you have all of that power, but you're limited in terms of what you can do. Whereas with the Galaxy Tab S7, it is just that perfect balance of enough power and enough versatility in terms of things that you can do. It allows you to be flexible on so many levels, right? Then of course, next year we get to the cameras. On the Galaxy Tab S7, we have a 13 megapixel, a 13 and a 5 megapixel on the back. Picture quality is actually pretty sharp for a tablet, right? So we're not comparing this to like a Galaxy S21 Ultra or anything like that. So for a tablet, you can actually take pretty good pictures, right? Very good videos. And the front-facing camera is an 8 megapixel front-facing camera that you can use for video calls and things like that. And when it comes to that also, as long as you have your settings, as long as it's well lit, you should be fine. So the front-facing camera also is decent quality. And following that, the next thing that I want to cover here, and I'm just going to stop after this, is going to be the S Pen, the Samsung S Pen. Of course, like I've said a number of times, this is the most modern Samsung S Pen as of now, right? In fact, if you've seen my previous video, you will know that the Galaxy Tab S8 and the S8 Plus and possibly the S8 Ultra will be essentially using the same S Pen. It is filled with, you know, a bunch of features. And of course, I've always said that this was my all-time favorite stylus, simply because it feels so natural when you're writing with it. Feedback, sensitivity levels, top notch. So you can rest assured that your productivity level is going to be boosted even more with this S Pen. Now, I did say that this was going to be the last thing, but I want to talk about battery, right? So you're looking at an 8,000 milliamp battery loaded in an 11 inches tablet. It's great battery. Now, I can't tell you how long it's going to last for you, but I can tell you that in my experience, of course, I've been able to, even up until today, I can still finish the day with the battery. Now, definitely on par with what you would be expecting from a tablet around this size and something that costs about this much. But anyway, so obviously there are people out there whose needs would call for them to buy something like an iPad or a Xiaomi. But in terms of value, the things that you get with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, beyond all of the specs and all that stuff, is you also get a very solid, a very robust ecosystem with that Galaxy continuity, right, which is essentially Samsung ecosystem, mobile ecosystem. So it adds even more value to the device itself, to the tablet, right? So you have the support from Samsung, 3 years of, you know, major updates. That is also a pretty nice move there. That's just my take on this. Let me know your thoughts. Let's just get this little conversation going. So I'll catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. So if you are in the market for this tablet, don't hesitate, go for it. If you know anyone who would be interested in this video, make sure to share, and again, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. I will catch you there, and up until then, of course, as always, stay safe out there.